Hello again, everybody. This is Michael K4EST, and today I want to go over an unboxing of the Mini HD265 from Amiko. I've not really done a whole lot of other unboxings, but this one here, I thought maybe I would kind of go over since this one's a little bit different. Because before we get into it, that's the first two things, or first question that's asked, and there's a couple things. What's better about this box? What's different? Ain't they all the same? Ain't like smartphones every year, a new smartphone, but they're all pretty much the same. And normally that'd be correct, but this one, there's a couple of things. First of all, the biggest thing with it is HEVC, decoding. The H.265. Now, that don't mean 4K. So don't get that confused. A lot of people confused. As soon as they hear H.265, they think, oh, it's 4K. But no, that's just a vehicle. It's just a way of, an encoding scheme to, compress it more or whatever. But you can put anything on it. You don't have to have 4K. It's used a lot for 4K because, the less bandwidth that's being used. But you can also do HD or SD signals on it too. And there's not a whole lot right now, but they're starting to come out, just like when the DVB-S2 came out, about, 8 to 10 years ago, or something like that, and started getting popular. And there was just a few here and there, and the next thing you know, now everything in North America is that way, except for a few things, 97 West KU and a few oddball here and there. So, everything's going toward this route with the H.265, and that's what this receiver will do. The other thing it'll do, or the other thing that's different about it, is it's faster. The last several boxes, even from Amiko or some of the other places, they're all about the same speed. It's not a showstopper, but it's fine. I'm talking about like menu speed and stuff like that. And then, of course, blind scan speed's gotten better, too. This one's got a pretty good speed on blind scan. This one here is double the speed. As from its previous predecessors, this is double the speed on the CPU. It's got a lot more RAM, and it's really noticeable. You go into the menu on an older box, just from 4 or 5 years ago, like, say, the Mini HD SE or something. If I'm testing one for a customer, I'll hook one in, just plug it in, check it, and I can already see, I'm like, whoa. It's like, come on now, let's get to this menu and that menu, and let's get to this, and let's try to change a switch setting or something. And it's just, and I know you've seen this where you get down to change a switch setting. Say you've got a 1x8 switch, a dissect switch, and you go down to it and you just click over 5 times because you're on port 5, and nothing happens right away. Your brain, your mind's seeing that and like, nothing's happening here. So you might hit it a few more times, then all of a sudden there it goes slowly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it just keeps going because you hit it too many times. This one here, I really notice a difference in the speed, but like I said, that's not the main selling point, because once you're watching TV or whatever, who cares about that? But it does do the H.265, and there is no noticeable increase in speed, which makes it a little easier and a little neater. And the blind scan speed is pretty reasonable on it. I did a 97 West at 2 minutes 16 seconds. Some of the older ones was like 5 minutes or so or whatever, so it does pretty good. So with that out of the way, I've already had a couple questions about that. People sending me a PM on satellite guys or emails wanting to know, is this just next year's model of the new smartphone, pretty much the same thing, or is it different? And so this one finally is something that's different. Like I said, it don't do 4K, but if you're looking for a budget receiver and something that's got some good support, and this would be something you'd be looking for. So when you get it, it's like this. And if you've got them before, it's the same thing. If you've never got one of these, it'll be a box like this. When you open it up, I've actually had questions of asking what it comes with accessories, so I'm going to do an unboxing. You'll open it up. Now when you get this, if you get one for me, I've got these things set at 720p, so you'll want to change that if you get it. I usually have a little note stuck in there. But if you open it up here, we'll take it out of the, and as you can see, it looks, well, that looks like the rest of them. What's so different? And like I said, the internals, it's faster, and it's got the H.265. And then let's have a look at the back here. You got your satellite input, you got your PDIF, you got your Ethernet, you got your HD output, and you still have the composite here, and of course power, where your power supply plugs in right there. This is nice too on this model. Unlike some of the older models you had to plug in, it'd be something like over here. We have the little 3.5mm jacks you have to plug in, and then it come out to a cable with these on it, and sometimes those are flaky and finicky, and this is plugged straight into there if you want to, you know, have an older TV or hook it to a VCR or whatever. So there's the receiver, and of course packing. And then we get in here. I'm trying to work around the tripod, and there, transformer stuck up here. But as you can see, it comes with American plug-in a wall, no flimsy weird adapters or anything. You're going to get an HDMI cable. Okay, kind of see that, but nothing fancy, just a plain old HDMI cable. You still do, I've had a question about this, you still get the remote. I don't really want to take it out of the bag here, but if you can see that, the bag really makes it reflect a lot, but it's the remote IR sensor. And go back to the receiver. You can see right here, we've got an IR in, that's where that plugs in, where you can take the receiver and hide it behind the TV or something. And then bring this around, okay, in front of the TV, or, you know, somewhere where it, all you gotta do is get this little thing visible here. You get the remote. Now if you have, say, an Amiko Mini HD Mini, or a Mini SE, or an RE, or even a Micro, then guess what? Same remote, which is kind of a catch-22. If you want to have two receivers beside each other, you'll have to come up with some kind of solution, because this remote will work both receivers. But the other good thing is, if you just have one receiver there, you might want to just take the, and you're not going to use the other receiver, just put it for a backup. You might want to just leave this in the plastic, put it up, keep using your same remote. That way, if it ever fails, go to your closet, pull this out, and you got a brand new remote, and you don't have to try to find one or order a new one. And it comes with the standard user manual, which is, they're usually better than some of them. Some of the other ones I've seen. Some of these user manuals are just, you know, what they call it, Chinglish, where they take Chinese and try to run it through Google Translate, and it comes out with something strange stuff sometimes. But if you ever have any questions or whatever about it, you can always email me or get up with me on the forums, and I'll be glad to help you out there. Now let's take this over. I'll make this a two-part video. That's pretty much, that's it. That's it. Let's, you know, there's the box. In the next video, I'm gonna take it over. We're gonna go to the TV. I'll bring it up and we'll go through it. We'll look at it, the menus of it and stuff. And like I said, if you've had any of the Amiko products recently, in the last 4, 5, 6 years, unless you've got some of the, you know, stuff with the E2 software, or say an Amiko A3 or an A4, which uses the Android. If you got just a plain run-of-the-mill set-top box that you plug and play, pretty much, the menus are going to be almost identical. They use the same ALA chipset. Of course, this one here does use a different chipset. A lot of the earlier ones use the same chipset. This one's ALA, but it's the newer chipset, obviously. But we'll still go through it. We'll go, you know, look it over and stuff like that. So look for that video. I'm gonna try to get them out pretty close together. So if you see this video and like, well, where's the other one at? it's either uploading to YouTube or, you know, wait the next day, probably something like that, one day and then the next. But I'll try to get them maybe both out pretty close together so that you can have part 1 and part 2, so you can go look at it. But like I said, it's not, there's nothing different there, or nothing, you know, which you special or completely different about it. So anyway, that'll wrap up this video. And as always, if you like this video, go down there below and hit that like button. You can hit subscribe. There's plenty of videos like this. There's all kinds of electronic videos on this channel. Every week or two I put out something, so always something good to watch. So, or at least to me it is. You may not like it, but that's why this channel kind of, it's, you know, variety of stuff. It's might be this one week, next week it'll be restoring an old tube amplifier or something, but it's all electronic, you know, based or whatever. But anyway, until next time, this is Michael, KE4EST 73, everybody.